What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be giving you the top 10 loadouts you can be using right now in Warzone 3. And we've got a ton of loadouts for you today and a ton of options, so you'll be able to mix and match all of these. These are going to be in no particular order, and I always recommend use what's most comfortable to you, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to be pushing your enemy, and if you're not pushing your enemy, you're not going to get it more eliminations. Before we start, Raven did put out an update that fixed perks, fixed the 50-round mag unlock glitch on the HRM9 SMG, and they buffed the AMR9 again. So a lot of loadouts to give you guys. Let's get into it right now. For the Jack BFB muzzle, we're getting a lot of comments saying that it puts you on the radar as an advanced UAV. Here's the benefit of that. So you'll be on there as an advanced UAV, but the enemy won't know which level you're on. It doesn't give you the elevation of your player, so it could almost work as an advantage to you. The perks that I recommend are definitely Mountaineer right now. Mountaineer, you can jump from pretty much any height and barely take any fall damage. I highly recommend it. Really helps, especially when trying to escape an enemy. Then double time is what I'm using right now. It just prolongs that tac sprint duration, and it's just really good. Then I'm running quick fix right now. I know a lot of people like primed is very solid as well. I like picking up tempered on the ground loot, so that's why I kind of don't run tempered, or I'd recommend that. But quick fix is just really solid. Quick fix, what it does is basically when you finish an enemy, you automatically regen your health, so very helpful there. And then I'm running high alert right now. If you have trouble hearing footsteps, would be flex, but high alert is just so crucial because it just honestly almost acts like a UAV without having to actually see the enemy on your mini map. So high alert is what I would recommend there. For lethals, I play a lot of resurgence, so I run throwing knives to save myself some ammo. But if you play a lot more Urzikstan, highly recommend Simtexes. Very useful for pushing buildings. And then I like running stims. It helps me escape in the gas, those kinds of things. But if you're running Urzikstan or even resurgence still, smoke grenades do help out quite a bit. So for this first loadout, we're gonna go with the MCW, but as an SMG. It has the blackout rounds, fantastic. And then we're gonna go with the DG58 LSW. Very solid, very usable still right now, even though it did get a nerf, but still very usable. We'll go through those right now. So for this MCW SMG, we're going with the Jack BFB muzzle. Now, if you don't want to use the Jack BFB muzzle throughout this whole thing, use the Cassis brake or use the VT7 Spirit fire suppressor on the long range stuff. Or if it's a short range weapon, we're going to go with the L4R flash hider. Okay, so if you don't like this Jack BFB, use one of those three options. Then we're going to go with the DR6 hand stop underbarrel, the 40-round mag, and I like the slate reflector optic here. I just don't like the iron sights on this MCW, but completely up to you there. Then for the DG58 LSW, we're going to go with the Jack BFB muzzle, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel, the Woody long barrel, and I have been running the stock recoil reduction butt plate over here, but since the nerf, I went ahead and added those high grain rounds to increase that damage a little bit. It seems to have made up for what the nerf actually was. For this next loadout, I went with the Holger 26, which is so much fun to run right now as an LMG. And then I've got the WSP Swarm. Now the WSP Swarm 6 meters and under is very good. Still very much meta when it comes to 6 meters and under. So you're talking about a staircase, inside of a staircase, those kinds of things. So maybe on resurgence it is probably maybe number 4 or 5 still on the actual ranking chart. But I enjoy, there's so many other better options right now than this WSP Swarm, because once you get past that 6 meters, it drops off quite significantly. But we're going to really try to handle this recoil, and we're going with the Jack BFB muzzle, the DR6 hand stop underbarrel, the WSP Reckless 90 long barrel, the slate reflector sight, and of course we're going to put on that 100 round mag. Then for this Holger 26, we're going to go with the Jack BFB muzzle, the Holger factory barrel, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel, the NATO high grain rounds, and I like the Ascent Lord stock here. We don't have to have a mag because it already comes with a 60 round mag. Next up, we've got the Bruin MK9. Now, I did get my PR of 33 with this loadout, along with the Core 45 pistol. And the Core 45 pistol acts just like an SMG, and honestly, its TTK is very solid if you can control the recoil. The recoil is not super bad, but at least I can control it. But again, it's very fun to use. We're going with the Jack BFB muzzle, the Chimera Rhine 03 vertical grip, the XRK Horizon V2 barrel, Corio Eagle's Eye 2.5 times scope, or if you don't want such a zoomed in scope, go with the slate reflector sight. Very solid as well. And then I put on the 60 round mag for faster reload time. Next, we have the Cat AMR, which did receive a nerf on the season 1 reloaded update, but we fixed it to where it still does one shot. Then we paired this with the AMR 9 sniper support. This is the best sniper support weapon in the game right now as an SMG, hands down. The TTK is very solid on this, and you'll have a lot of fun running it if you are a sniper. I'll give you another sniper loadout here too with this, but again, the AMR 9 is the best sniper support weapon in my opinion. For this Cat AMR, we're gonna go with the Sonic Suppressor XL muzzle, the Zang 34 barrel. We're gonna put on this SL Razorhawk laser light, which did get a buff. This will help with the ADS speed and sprint to fire speed, very helpful. Still going with the ephemeral quick bolt here, and then I went with the high velocity rounds. So the Spire Point rounds are what got the nerf, so we're gonna go with the high velocity rounds, which still allows you to one shot your enemies to the head. Then for this AMR 9 sniper support, we're gonna go with the Jack BFB muzzle, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel, the AMR 9 enforcer long barrel. You can run the 50 round mag if you want, but I like the 100 round drum just to piss people off. And then I'm going with the slate reflector sight. And you're talking about hardly any recoil on this, and it kills super quick. Just so much fun to run. And if you're feeling good, put on that Choreo Eagle's Eye 2.5 times scope and go have some fun with this thing. Another sniper I would recommend is the FJX Imperium. This is basically like almost like the Car 98 from back in the day. We're gonna go with the VT7 Spiritfire Suppressor L. The explosive ammo here, that's gonna allow you to one-shot your enemies. The Chimera Rye L33 laser light. The FJX Blast Bolt, which allows you to rechamber your bullets faster, so faster fire rate. And then the Alcalina LR stock optic. And you're gonna notice a very similar scope here. If that reticle looks familiar, it's because it's the same one that was on the Car 98, or the closest thing to it anyway. So enjoy this sniper as well. For this next loadout, we're gonna go with the WSP9, which did not get touched at all in any of the updates, so it's still so good. It does have a slight open bolt delay, so gotta get past that. But once you get past that, it can hang with any of the SMGs out here. And then we have the MTZ 762, which is so good. Only comes with 30 round mag, but if you put it on single fire, it 2 taps to the head and you'll be just fine. For this WS9, we're gonna go with the WSP infiltrated integrated barrel. Then we've got the DR6 hand stop underbarrel, the high grain rounds, the 50 round mag, and the WSP Classics factory stock. And for this MTZ 762, we're gonna go with the Jack BFB muzzle, the MTZ Precision Black Thorn barrel, the Rhine 03 vertical grip. I like the Choreo Eagle's Eye 2.5 times scope here with the 30 round mag. Then we have the SMG version of this AMR 9, which just absolutely is so much fun to run. I paired this with my Bruin and got that 33 PR for me. This is the build I use that for. And then we were pairing this with the Pulmiet 762, which is the best long range weapon you can be using right now. With TTK, recoil, all of that combined, it's just the best to use right now. There's just really no comparison unless you're using that MTZ 762 on single fire. For this AMR 9, we're gonna go with the Jack BFB muzzle, the AMR 9 Commando Pro barrel, the high grain rounds, the 50 round mag, and the slate reflector sight. And again, you're looking at very little recoil here, even very solid at range too. So have some fun with that one. Then for this Pulmiet, we're going with the Jack BFB muzzle, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel, the Choreo Eagle's Eye 2.5 times scope. I think this loadout has been in every single video other than with the Jack BFB muzzle. I've hyped this up since day one and I've got the receipts for it. It's just, Pulmiet is so much fun to run. Then we're going with the Jack Annihilator bullpup kit, and that'll unlock the Commando or the Command D15 recoil reduction stock. So we're going to add that as well. And like I said, this is the easiest weapon to use and the best long range option out there. Next, one of the other better long range weapons is the Ram 7 if you can control the recoil. And then we have the HRM9 SMG, which again did get that fixed for the 50 round mag. So we'll give you the loadout for that as well. For this Ram 7, we're gonna go with the Jack BFB muzzle, the Cronin Headwind long barrel, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel, the 60 round drum, and the HVS 3.4 pad. If you need a sight on it, go with the slate reflector sight. It's still very solid, but I like running no scope on it. Just for fun. because I do actually like the iron sights on the Ram 7. So, but completely up to you there, whatever makes you comfortable. Again, it's all about making you comfortable. But again, I do like the iron sights on this Ram 7. For this HRM9, we're going to go with the Jack BFB muzzle, the Princeps long barrel, the DR6 hand stop underbarrel. I've switched up from the folding stock to the hatchet light stock strictly because it does give you a little bit more handling and mobility and doesn't really affect that recoil control all that much. And we're going to go with the 50 round drum. The grout iron sights are so clean, so much fun to run. Next up is the SVA 545 on single fire. There's not a lot beating it right now. It's probably my number 2 or number 3 when it comes to the long range meta, but I paired this also with the Striker 9, which is so good right now too with that buff. Striker 9 got a buff in the season 1 reloaded update as well. So both of these are so good, and especially on single fire, single tap, because there's no recoil at all. This is the official no recoil weapon when it comes to no recoil weapons in this game. And then of course the Striker 9 has very little recoil as well. So for this SVA 545, we're gonna go with the VT7 Spirit Fire suppressor, the STV precision barrel, the high grain rounds. We're getting as much bullet velocity as possible here, the 60 round mag or the 45 round mag if you're on solos, and the Corio Eagle's Eye 2.5 times scope. And like I said, switch this thing to single fire mode, and again, no recoil at all. Just fire it as fast as possible, and it's just so good. And the TTK is phenomenal. For that Striker 9, we're gonna go with the Jack BFB muzzle, the DR6 hand stop underbarrel, 50 round drum, along with the slate reflector optic here, and the Lockman MK2 light stock. Next up, we've got the TAC Eradicator and the Rival 9. The Rival 9 is on the bottom of my list when it comes to meta SMGs or whatever, but still very fun to run. It's not like it's unusable, but then the TAC Eradicator is still pretty solid as well, especially with that fire rate. And with this particular build, I did kind of fix a little bit of the nerf that it did receive in the Season 1 Reloaded update. So for this TAC Eradicator, we went with the Jack BFB muzzle, the Conquer 70 long barrel, the Chimera Ryan 03 vertical grip, the high grain rounds, and the TAC Verde core stock. And then for that Rival 9, we're going to go with the Rival IGS 800 barrel, the DR6 hand stop underbarrel, the 50 or the 40 round mag here, whichever you prefer, the Rival Vice assault grip, and the slate reflector sight. And just an idea on how that specifically performs, TTK isn't terrible, but again, it is on my lower side of the list, but if you need a loadout for it, this is perfect for you. And then of course, one of my favorite loadouts to run is the Bass B. Still is so good, along with the Striker SMG. For this Bass B, I went with the Jack BFB muzzle, the Bruin Venom long barrel, the Chimera Ryan 03 vertical grip, Corio Eagle's Eye 2.5 times scope, or go with the slate reflector if you're on Vondale. A lot of fun to run like that as well. And of course the 45 round mag. And then for the Striker, one with the Jack BFB muzzle, the DR6 hand stop underbarrel, the slate reflector sight, the Lockman MK2 light stock, and the 48 round mag. If you guys enjoyed these loadouts, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that noty bell so you don't miss another video like this or like any of these. We'll see you in the next one.